All right, ladies and gentlemen, I bet you almost anything none of you expect me to see hear me today. After the past 2 weeks, but I'm not gonna leave you guys. Not that long. I'll leave you guys for a bit. That's fine by me. We can all use a bit of a break every now and then. Let's be honest here. Yo, Mr. Diaz, welcome back. Glad to have you. Glad to know I didn't lose you there. I haven't seen you guys in 2 weeks ish, something like that. And I do apologize for that. To be entirely honest, I sort of needed some time off entirely to sort of just kick back and relax. And it is 2024, the first stream of the year, quite literally. I am sorry I haven't really been very open about it. Been feeling a bit down. Don't know if it's just winter depression shit or what the fuck that was going on, but yeah, been feeling a bit down. I've had a need to sort of just relax a bit, actually, take some holiday during the time I have holiday. Not focus on streaming, not focus on nothing, just kicking back. And that's exactly what I've been doing for the past bit of time, and it's been wonderful. It sucked a bit as well, but all in all, it's been pretty great, and I can't like really complain too much overall. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing well, of course. And let me be clear that this right here absolutely means that we're back on track. My holiday is coming to an end. First day back at work is Thursday this week here, so you can most definitely expect me to be back here on the stream starting today. I will say, so Wednesday, first day of the holiday, if I'm being entirely honest, I had forgotten that the minute I woke up at first that I was going to be streaming, and then my brother came by that Wednesday, and it was a whole thing. Jeez. But fair enough. So that didn't really help either, but he wasn't the cause that I forgot. I forgot myself well prior. So I'm sorry I didn't communicate that. I was trying to think about doing a stream at first a bit earlier, but also my mic is going crazy right now. I feel like it's picking up way too much audio. I feel like it should be somewhat limited. Let me kick it back a little bit. -2%. I feel like that's a bit better. I don't know. You guys let me know how the mic is. I feel like it's going way too crazy right now. Anyway, no, what I was trying to say is, so yeah, I was trying to do a stream the end of that week as well, the week where I went on holiday. Didn't really work out. Sort of felt like more like kicking back, which is what I did. And then when Monday came around, some of you may noticed, I canceled last week's Monday stream. And then I at first created the stream Tuesday. That stream was then pushed till I think Saturday, although it disappeared on my end. I couldn't find it, trying to cancel it anyway. So result was either way the same. And I wasn't going to stream. So I do apologize for not being very open about this. This is why I'm mentioning it now. Like I mentioned, been feeling a bit down, and that's on me, not on you guys. So sorry about that. But I am back now, and I plan on being here Wednesday as well. I guess I kind of just needed some time off from just about everything, even though I'm not sure some things going on that necessarily was the best move. But nevertheless, what is done is done, and I'm back. That's the end. I've had a fairly good holiday. Um, I mean, the entirety of December here has been a bit hectic, unsurprisingly. Um, for the past several weeks, I've had something going on every single Saturday, and it's been crazy. Hold on, let me try something here. I got an idea. I'm gonna mess with the mic again. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, that's pretty good. I set it to -2 and a limiter to -12, so hopefully we'll stay within the yellow. Oh, that is a good question. Um, so my dad sent out a Christmas list of things that he wished for, and on that list was two different comic books. I think both were, well, no, one of them was Batman, but it was like one where he's like kind of Hellman. Is that what it's called? The Pinhead kind of? Yeah, whatever that comic is. That's one he wanted, and then there was a Joker comic he also wanted. So we went out, me and my brother, I think the week prior, Friday prior to Christmas, and went out and bought that. That was really nice. For my mother, I originally had planned buying a present. She had asked for a phone cover and a wireless charger, but it didn't really work out that way, unfortunately. My brother had texted me like a bit of time back and then was like, hey, can we go out and buy presents together? And partly was because, well, it was because he wanted to buy my mom a bowl that he had come across. Granted, it was a nice bowl, and I think she really enjoyed the gift, but it did also mean that the present idea that originally had wasn't really available anymore because all the budget that I had for my mom's present was used on that bowl as well as as the cover. Which sort of introduced a sort of an interesting thing, because while I definitely think she enjoyed the bowl, because it was a surprise and it was something unique, and I truly think she enjoyed the look of the bowl that we got her. Not the type of bowl you would put food in, maybe some fruits in, but not otherwise really, that kind of bowl. But while I think she definitely enjoyed that, I could tell that she wasn't as excited about the phone cover that I got her. To be fair, it's just a phone cover, but still. I gave my sister money, my brother Hogwarts Legacy, and my mom Julie, and I got my dad a display. That's actually not bad, not bad. Whenever mine back here isn't falling off the wall, you see that spot? It's empty again because the goddamn middle Cyberpunk poster that I have somewhere down there keeps falling off every 5 minutes of the goddamn wall. And it's the only one at this point that does it. I follow the instruction to the perfectly every time, and it's works for like a couple weeks. And then suddenly the next thing I hear is that it falls off the ground again. Oh, that is actually pretty good. I got my dad, I think it was for... No, I don't think even it was a present. It was, or maybe it was. I got him some coupons that I had gotten from some prior orders for myself. And I essentially got him those to get some Tour de France metal display posters, which he really liked. He has not hung it, just to be clear, though. He has it like on a shelf somewhere, which is probably better, knowing that one keeps falling off the wall. But yeah, but yeah, we got my dad some comic books. My dad or my mom, I got a ball, or my brother got a ball, and I got her cover on the sides. It's a better cover than the one she had. She got a cheap ass shit cover before. This one's at least decent. What I got her. My grandma, we got her a blanket, a nice light blanket, so that one she could actually use. She's literally at the point right now where the utensils we give her, the forks, the knives, they're too heavy for her. So the blanket has to be super light to not be uncomfortable for her. Otherwise, we would probably have bought the heaviest blanket we could find. Because that's usually kind of nice, actually. But no, it ended up being a very nice, light blanket we got her for Christmas. Knowing my dad, if the magnets fell off the wall, he would just screw holes into the corners and screw it in. My dad's too lazy for that at this point. There's so many of these things that he's just given up on, honestly, which is a bit sad. There's so many of the things that when I grew up, he would yell at me for not doing, and at this point, he does not give a shit. It's a bit sad, but it is what it is. So that was my dad, my mom, my grandma. So the gift for my brother and his girlfriend was a bit different because... So I think I mentioned this, but my parents aren't home right now. They went to the U.S. here. It was actually late Tuesday, the week when my holiday started. So the day after my last stream I did. And they've been in the U.S. ever since, and they're coming back sometime here in January. Hope they're having fun, of course. But that meant they weren't going to be home for Christmas this year. But instead, I got invited by my brother's girlfriend's parents. That's a hell of a mouthful. To their place. And it was a wonderful evening. It was legit, I think, one of the best Christmas evenings I've had in a long time. I've begun having sort of this weird thing with Christmas presents. I think partially, like, mentally speaking, I want the presents to be as awesome as they were years ago when I was a kid, but they can't really be that for me. You see, like growing up, of course, I didn't have any money myself, so whenever Christmas and my birthday came around, that's when I got the good shit. That's when I had the opportunity. And the good shit back then wasn't necessarily something that cost multiple of thousands of crowns. It didn't have to be necessarily a console. Back then, it would be a game or a movie, because even then, that's something I couldn't afford. But at this point, I'm earning a good enough paycheck to be able to buy whatever I need whenever or whatever I want even. And I think I'm just mentally stuck in the idea that depression should still be that awesome. And that's just unrealistic. Unless someone comes and surprised. Oh, nice. Yeah. Like, it's an unrealistic standard, and I hate that I sort of feel like it has to be that way, because no matter what, I'm never as excited for the present as I want to be. And whether I am thankful or simply want to be thankful, I don't really know, but I'm trying to be thankful for the presents that I get every year, even though that I know they're not exactly what I want, even though I don't know what I want. It's a vicious, irritating loop that I honestly hate. But it's all on me. I feel like I can't blame my parents. I can't blame my brother, because it's all on me, you know. For like my grandma, she doesn't really give a shit anymore. So she's like, "You got some money, kiddo. Get the fuck out of here." So I got some really good money from her, and I bought some great games already on Steam. Mostly actual DLC stuff, actually. But yeah, never mind. So I mean that's the least that's better. I mean, I'm incredibly thankful, of course, that she's willing to give me a present in the first place, and as much money as I got, that's even more amazing. And I got some amazing games. That's awesome. But so my parents' original idea was that they were gonna bring presents back home from the U.S. I have told them since then, recently, that I wouldn't want that anymore, because I couldn't really find anything I wanted. Ah, that sucks, man. But so now I'm asking for underwear. But at the very least, underwear is something where I'm like, that's something I want. In fact, I need it. I found out that the majority of the underwear that I have apparently have started getting holes in them, which means they all need to be replaced. So now I've gone from, can you buy me back something cool from the US, to I can't really find anything cool in the US. Can I just get some underwear, please? It's been like 5 days. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. That's a bad one, but yeah. But nevertheless, beyond that, my favorite part of Christmas, I think, was weirdly enough giving a present. I've come to the point as well where giving a present is actually, to a degree, more fun than getting a present. It might be my overall issue with presents in the first place. That's part of this whole issue here, but but yeah, no, if it's a really, really good gift, like the one I gave my brother this year, fucking hell, that feeling slaps. So, like I mentioned, I spent Christmas with my brother's girlfriend's parents. It was such a nice time. And part of the reason why I was also really excited was we had agreed, me and my brother, that we wouldn't exchange our presents until Christmas Eve that we were spending together anyway. And I was so excited for to giving him his present. You see, you remember how I mentioned we went out and got my dad comic books? It was really, really cool. In that same store, they had the comic book series Sandman, which is a series my brother is currently watching and reading at the same time. Now, while we were in the store, he had to, of course, explain the books to me. And the first thing he does is he pulls down this big, thick book from the shelf, and it was just... the only thing from my perspective that I saw, I barely even listened, but because all I could think about was how his eyes started glowing the minute he started showing me that thing. It was beautiful. It was a golden opportunity kind of present. It's one of those special presents that come along in a century, it feels like. It's when you're visually shown this is the ultimate present that you can give that time, and I got it to him. So the difference is, apparently with the Sandman, so you can either buy the thin single comic book per comic book books, which is the ones that he's getting currently for himself when he's starting to read them. I think he only has one now, so it sort of worked. But there's also these really big, thick volume books that houses several of the comics. And they actually have a really nice cover to them. The thing is, they are 1,000 crowns per volume. I think there's a total of 4 volumes, but there were like just above 1,000 crowns in Fausiga, which is a comic book store here in Copenhagen. So that's quite a lot of money, and that's the entire reason why he hasn't gone for them as of right now, is because they're way too expensive. And I'm all with him with that, and I was just like, that's cool, but I didn't give a shit. Like, I was already in the mindset, it's like, I don't care how much this cost. This is your present. The end. I don't give a shit how much it costs. I don't give a shit how much it's more expensive than any other presents than I've given any other year. This is your present. The end. And I was legit like in this while we were in the store buying my dad's comic book for Christmas. I was thinking about how I was gonna get that book for him. Silladeer, welcome back, Happy New Year, man. But so that was really awesome. And when I got home, the first thing I did was I talked to my parents. I'm like, hey, can you help me get this thing for him? He really, really, really wants it. And at first they were like, sorry, we can't do. We already bought some other presents for him. Luckily, they came back a little bit later, said they were going to help out because the books were cheaper than they had thought. So that was really, really cool. On top of that, I got an even cheaper price than what I'd seen in store. So in the store, it was about a little bit above 1,000 crowns. When I looked online in any local store here in Denmark, or any stores that were typically here, it was above 1,000, all the way up, I think, to like 1,300 crowns. It was insane how much this volume was. But I went on the German Amazon, that's fairly close to Denmark, and wouldn't you know it, well, it's multiple comic books in one. So that's why it's a volume of comic books. That's why it's 1,000 crowns. Also, the book cover is insanely nicely made. But I found it on Amazon for $8.50, which at minimum meant that I save about 200 crowns. Best case scenario, I saved about 500 crowns. It's insane how much cheaper it was. First thought, this is some weird third-party seller that's like Sandman Seldir. Sandman is the comic book I got my brother for Christmas. Yeah. Yeah. So this was way cheaper. It was insanely cheap. And I thought, okay, this got to be like some weird third-party seller who's going to be like trying to get my money. No, it was legit. It was Amazon themselves that sold this. Like it was straight up them. It's like, okay, great. So Amazon is selling it. Second worry I got is that the book might be in German, and all the prices that I've seen are for the English version here in Denmark, or maybe even a Danish version. It wasn't the case either. The book was at the very least 200 crowns cheaper than anything I found here in Denmark, even in physical stores. And it was 200 crowns cheaper. It was insane how much cheaper it was. And with a little bit of funding for my parents as well that helped me go in on this present, I paid in total about half what I would have given in the physical store by myself. So that was just awesome. So I got him that present, and boy did his eyes light up once more once he got the present on Christmas Eve. Holy shit. It was amazing getting him that book. He was blown away. I legit thought he would have guessed it by now, but he was just blown away, and I loved that. I think it's the best present I've given in years, ever. To be fair, it was like this golden opportunity. Like, it's somehow even better than my dad's, who literally wrote down what comic books he wanted. This like is tier up from the ones that from the one my brother wanted, or at least had put on his wish list. So that was awesome. But I will say it was a bit sort of strange, but incredibly nice time spending Christmas Eve with my brother's girlfriend's parents. Really nice. They had a lovely dog, Kiki. Lovely, old, bit blind, a bit deaf, but nonetheless wonderful dog. So I got to pet him or pet her all night. So that was really, really lovely. And it was a wonderful Christmas with them. As a thank you, I gave them some flowers, which I bought on the day because I forgot to get them a present. I wanted to get them a present. I wasn't required to bring a present, and I forgot that I was going to get this present, so I just bought some flowers on the day. Nevertheless, it worked out, and I hope they're happy with the flowers. They weren't like super expensive or anything like that, but I hope they were still nice. And somehow they got me a present as well. Like, I didn't even know until like I think November that I might be spending Christmas with them, and they still got me a present, We've only, by the way, this is the second time that I met like our parents there. Like I did not expect that. Although I will say, I'm going to show you what I got from both my brother, his girlfriend, and her parents. I don't hate any of them, but it is maybe not super great. Oh, brother, you're going in the wrong places. So my brother and his girlfriend got me this comic book, Doctor Strange comic book, called. I don't even think there's a name on it. No, it's just called Doctor Strange. I've never read a Doctor Strange comic actually, so that's pretty cool. And this is what his girlfriend's parents got me. I feel very weird about Rick and Morty in this point. I gotta be honest. I know there's a new season voiced by different people, and apparently people have been saying that the finale to that new season is some of the best stuff from Rick and Morty that's been in years. Still, I feel weird about this Rick and Morty stuff at this point. I find it odd. Knowing one of the creators, just be clear, one of the creators has been dubbed bit of a creep. But nevertheless, thank you for the wonderful presents. And I also so I don't know, Seldir, if you have it there, but here in Denmark there is a Christmas tradition that is around sort of a game you play in the evening. I don't know. Let me figure that out. Sandman box set. Well, all right. So the volume is like a hardcover complete book compared to a box filled with some of the smaller comic books, apparently. From what I can tell, the box set is literally that. It's a box set filled with the Sandman comic books, whereas the volume that we got him, me and my parents, the omnibus is what it's called. Jesus. Yeah, no, we got him the Sandman Omnibus Volume 1. Sorry about that, man. Sorry about that. Yeah, the Sandman Omnibus Volume 1 is what we got him. On saxo.dk or .com/dk. It is 1,500 crowns. But if you're a member of the store, that's always important. All right. I was just saying that the Sandman Omnibus Volume 1 is what we got him, which is a complete book with a volume. It's a complete volume of comics. But the full price is 1,500 crowns. But if you're a member of the store, you do get it for 1,300 crowns. I got it on Amazon.de. .de for quite a bit less. So let's see here. I'm copying the title of the book, copying it in, and it is 114 euros for the hardbook cover sold by Amazon themselves, which converted into Danish crowns is 845 crowns. So yeah, quite a bit cheaper. But he really, really loved it, and that was awesome. But the thing I was trying to mention before is here in Denmark, there is a Christmas edition where you eat... I'm going to search up what the official definition of this is. Yo, nice, dude. Okay, in English. How would you say this in English? Do you just straight up say the name? I guess that's sort of, yeah. Volume 1 in another store is... yeah, you go into the wrong stores, man. It's being dubbed as Danish rice pudding. That's the best. But what do you call it then if it's just the basic stuff here? Yeah, you're awesome, dears. How would you say that? Rice porridge. All right, I'm with that. All right. So throughout the year, of course, throughout December, you would eat rice porridge. That's what we eat. It's really awesome. You put some sugar and how would you? Hold on. Cinnamon and sugar, as well as butter on top of this rice porridge. Yeah, that's reason called. And that's awesome. But on Christmas evening, so that's 24th, after you've eaten dinner, usually, at least that's what we do here in Denmark. From what I can stand, maybe Sweden does it a bit differently, but still, is we eat rice pudding, or as we call it, risalamande. Risalamande. And there's a game around it. Essentially, so you chop you get the sort of brown part of the shell off first of almonds. And then you cut up a bunch of them, except for one or two, depending on how many people you are. And then you put one in the rice pudding here. And then whoever gets the complete almond that isn't chopped up wins the game, essentially. That is the, yes, Melangeo. That is what we're talking about here. Now, this year, I managed to win. And I managed to win these guys. These guys are, this is a bolcha. Schumanns bolcha. It's hard candy, essentially. It's really fun. It's really nice. This is what I won. But what was even cooler was something that they did at my brother's girlfriend's parents. I'm just going to keep saying it like that. So there is this bag inside of it here. This thing right here, which is supposed to make sure that the hard candy stays the same way it is when you open it. Now, apparently, I didn't know this, but at their house, there's an additional present. Is what we call it. One almond. The person who gets it gets a pan pig. Yeah, we don't do that. No. We do not do that here. If you chew them, you get banned. Yeah. Yeah. So, but this is down here to make sure that the hard candy stays the way it is. And when I got it, this first, I jokingly said that this is the best snack in the entire thing. Well, apparently at their house, they tape literal money to this. So not only did I get some great hard candy here that I haven't eaten in years, yeah, no, I'm sure there's some insane Danish people that do it as well, but not us cool normal people. But they tape money to this. Not only did I win the hard candy, I won money. Although I will say, I am 99% sure they rigged the game in my favor. Not even kidding. So here's the clues I got for you, and and you let me know if you agree with my assessments that led me to my conclusion that the game was rigged in my favor. Essentially, I was told as the first person to dig in. I didn't decide to go in for the first scoop myself. I was told to go in, and And as a nice guest, I would never simply dig in. But if the host, like they did, ask me to dig in as the first person, I will dig in as the first person. So I did. The first scoop I go in for, I feel like I hit something that's a bit harder than the rest of this rice pudding. Something that's clearly a bit more. And I don't get it in the first scoop, but on the second scoop, I go directly for the area where I felt the hard item first. And wouldn't you know it, second time I put a spoon down in the rice pudding I had on my plate, wouldn't you know it, there was an almond, complete almond, not cut in any way. Now you tell me, did they rig it in my favor? Because I feel like they did. There is no way that was casually sitting on top, somewhat well hidden for the eyes, but still easy enough to feel with the spoon. I mean, of course, there was still the chance I could have missed it, but it feels like, and I might just be going crazy here, I feel like they were trying to get me to get the almond. I'm just saying. I'm not mad about it. Just to be clear, this is some great candy, and I love it. And it was absolutely worth the risk of potentially not being invited next year, which I was told prior that if I won, I would not be invited next year. Maybe. I grew up with guest serve first. True that. I mean, that is, but you could have hidden it well deep in there. And then I feel like it would have been pretty fair no matter who got the first scoop in there. You know what I mean? It's the fact that it was on top, visually hidden, but easy to grab with a single scoop. And yet, and I was told to go first. It's those two things combined that makes me feel like most likely it was Rick from the start. Hold on, I'm gonna spray some shit at my nose here. My nasal blockages are on again. It's fucking annoying. It's gonna look gross. Give me a second here. I'm gonna scoot out of frame here. You don't have to look at my disgusting self while I'm doing this. All right, can't get it to work. I'm out. I absolutely did see my brother open his present, and it was amazing. Someone didn't mix the almond. I mean, there is the chance. There is somewhat of a likelihood that it was all a coincidence. That I was told to go first, like you said, because I was a guest, and there's also a chance that they just didn't mix the almond right, or by chance it landed further up than what they had probably intended for. There is a chance all that is true. It's just combined all the information. It feels like it was done on purpose. You know what I mean? But honestly, all good. It's more of a funny thing to mention more than anything really, but yeah. So, honestly, it was a super nice evening. Although I will say, this is sort of a fun thing. So, I've never been to their house ever. My brother's girlfriend's parents' house. This was the first time I ever got to see it. Yeah, exactly, Seldir. Now, as we got in, I was told that their bathroom, or rather, I should say, I was warned that their bathroom is unusually small. And I'm thinking, that's probably fine, right? It ain't gonna be that bad. It was that bad. The bathroom they had is legit the smallest bathroom I've ever experienced. It is smaller than any stall in a school bathroom that I've ever witnessed. Knees hit the door bad or can't close the door. You could close the door. There was enough width for you to get in there and close the door, but your knees would definitely hit the door when you sat down. It doesn't help that I'm a very large man in more ways than one. The toilet was smaller than usual. It wasn't straight. I'm pretty sure if the toilet was sitting straight, you would not have been able to stand in that bathroom. You would have had to sit down the minute you got in there. You might have even had to take your pants off before you closed the door. It was bad. If I sit on the toilet, my head hits the sink. Okay, that's pretty bad. The sink as well is the smallest sink I've ever witnessed. You could not comfortably wash your hands in that sink. I could not put my hands in without any of my hands touching any part of the sink at all. It was impossible. It was apparently, from what I've heard, custom designed for that particular bathroom. Anytime I left that bathroom, I felt like I had left a pool of water on the ground. Like a swimming pool's worth of water on there. Oh yeah, it's real bad. Because I don't want to touch the sides. I don't know what's been on there. It's weird. Let that sink in. Let that sink in, man. But still, really nice evening. There was sort of an issue at one point because I've been eating a lot of Hauergryn these past couple days. Whenever I'm on holiday, I like to treat myself with breakfast. You know, real classy shit. This time was Hauergryn with milk. That shit fucking slaps, bro. A lot of grain in there. Good shit. Good shit. Yeah, oatmeal. That's right. That's the word I was looking for. And that shit makes you go to the bathroom, man. Let that stuff into your body. You're gonna be shitting. You're definitely gonna be shitting. And that day was no different. Because during the day, my stomach started being like, you gotta go, man. It's pooping time. That's pretty much what I felt. And then at the same time, it's like that tiny bathroom. There's no way, first of all, I'm not going to be destroying their lovely little tiny bathroom when going to take that shit in there. And then at the same time, I feel like I'm probably going to have, oh, caca. Like at the same time, I feel like they would hear everything. Whatever was going to come out of my system was going to be louder than a DJ at a party, man. Jesus. It was going to be bad. And I was desperately hoping that I could wait because I didn't. I didn't want to go to that tiny bathroom. The issue was I wasn't going home at the end of the evening. You see, they weren't, well, they lived somewhat nearby. I think it was like, it took like, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes by bus to get there. It decides not the water. Yeah. I mean, I think in total, yeah, it took about 45 minutes to get there by 2 buses, somewhat. So it wasn't like super bad or anything like that, but I had decided to accept the idea of staying there for the night. And it was, I mean, it's a stranger's house. I don't know what more you want. It's strange. It's difficult to sleep there, but nevertheless, I get some sleep, and I end up having to get up super early the next morning so I can get a ride back home, and then I fell back asleep again. I literally didn't end up taking a shower, and I felt so bad because I had to sit in a car for like, I don't know, 20 minutes not having technically showered. Just be clear, I wasn't completely disgusting. I washed my armpits and put some deodorant on it so I didn't feel like a complete monster, and yet I still felt incredibly bad. And after I'd fallen asleep when I gotten back home, I took a shower. I take a shower every goddamn day, but I was not gonna be trying to figure out how to take a shower in that house. It was like that was a no go. Plus, I forgot to bring a towel, so I'm not even sure how I would have done that. So either way, it wasn't a great situation, but still lovely time, and I'm thankful that I got the invite for that. That was amazing. I sort of just chilled after the 24th. I hate visiting people where the bathroom is so close to the living room where they can hear everything. Exactly, that was my worry. The bathroom was very close to the living room. So yeah, overall, really, really nice experience. Had a great time. Thankful that I got invited. Didn't do much the next couple days. I did have a plan to potentially hang out with a good friend of mine and potentially my brother as well. None of those happened. Tell you the truth, I've been sitting playing The Sims for multiple hours for the past several days. That is the honest truth. I've had a lot of fun with it, and I got to do a lot of stuff I've never gotten to do in like playing The Sims because it just takes way too long. So that is really fun. I do want to talk about that as well, but I want to move on to New Year's, which was yesterday. I did not trap people in my walls. That is a streamer thing. That is not something I usually do when I play. You got to remember, man, I didn't get into The Sims originally ages ago now when trapping people in my home. Now, I got into it because of my mom. My mom still to this day plays the Sims every now and then. She got me into it at an early age. So no, that I didn't do a lot of trapping. I had an ulterior motive. But yeah, yesterday was New Year's. I didn't end up celebrating with anyone. Sort of feels a bit sad to talk about, but it was kind of nice actually. Sort of chill. I played some more of The Sims up until like midnight-ish. And then like, I think it was like 45 minutes to midnight. So 15 minutes past 11. I decided to switch over to our, one of the government channels here, DR. But right before that, a very strange thing happened. Everyone in here, I think, pretty much knows what I'm about to mention here, because something big happened in Denmark. But the way I experienced it was the most bizarre, modern way I guess it could have happened. You see, every year, the Queen has a speech. I don't remember exactly when it is. I want to say it's like around 8 or 10-ish. And it's a yearly thing. And I don't really give a shit about the Queen, nor do I really give a shit about what she has to say, honestly. It's not really what I give a shit about. The only reason why I've watched it for the past couple of years is because I've had New Year's Eve with my parents, and they like to watch it. She is, which is what I was about to get into. But so the first time I saw it, it wasn't seeing her speech. I was scrolling through Twitter when I randomly came across the article CNN had posted about the fact that Queen was stepping down. That was the first thing I saw. And I was like, really? This feels a bit weird, but all right. And then next thing I see is my entire TikTok feed just filled to the brim with the same thing over and over, which was this thing. I didn't get to see that part of the Queen's speech until later in the evening when I turned on the channel we have in Denmark called DR, where I watched the countdown for New Year's. I didn't see it until then. So it was this weird, bizarre kind of modern experience where it's like, I didn't read it in the newspaper. I saw it on my phone on social media. It's weird as shit. But yeah, apparently her son, Prince Frederick. Yeah, Prince Frederick. Who apparently his wife is Australian. I know she wasn't from Denmark. I don't know where the fuck I was expecting her to be from, but I think apparently she's from Australia. Pretty cool. Pretty darn cool. Let me see if I can turn this a bit more down. Is this better? Yeah. I like having the mic a bit closer to my face, honestly. It's a bit nicer. A little bit nicer. There you go. No, wait. There you go. Beautiful. What can I say? I'm a close to the face type person. But yeah, the prince is coming in instead and taking over. From what I can understand, it's, of course she's getting old and her health isn't necessarily getting better because of it. And apparently now it's just a good time in the royal family. Everything's going great. So they're like, fuck it. Yeah, I'm stepping down. Let my son take over this shit. Yeah, they mostly do nothing. It's not like, I think they technically sign things into law, but they're not the ones deciding what gets on the table. They're just like, all right, that sounds good, whatever, fuck it. Let that be a thing. Actually, I don't even know if they still do that anymore. Does the Queen of Denmark still decide if something is law? What are the formal power rests aside with the elected parliament and its government? The monarch is expected to stay above petitioning to represent the national. All right, so they're not really signing. They're just like, yeah, fuck it, that sounds fine enough. Go ahead, go nuts, kiddo. They're allowed to break a law. God damn, I need to become royal. I'm gonna rob some banks. It's beautiful. The laws are brilliant. I can totally find a cute princess out there. Totally. It's all good. It's all good. That went real south real quick. But yeah, no, it's a hell of a thing. I ended up actually, ended up going down, to an area near me, by the water. Was really, really nice. I watched the fireworks from there. Great time. It's awesome. And Prince Andrew. Sounds about right, yeah. But it was sort of this weird thing where, like, so the fireworks were only really there for, or at least the big fun parts of the fireworks were only there for like 30-45 minutes. After that, everyone sort of went home. In Norway, the king holds the highest rank in the military, 4-star general, and they do stuff, some minimal political stuff, but mostly show. I mean, I feel like that's the way it should be at this point. It should be like, just keep your fucking hands over politics, man. You don't do shit. Just look fine for the camera, ladies. I feel so bad to say, but yeah. All right. Yeah. So that is a really nice New Year's Eve. Just going around to see the fireworks. A lot of drunk people, like a lot. I literally walked past an area on the way to the, to the place I went to, and on the way back, when I went through that same area, suddenly there was broken glass everywhere. It's almost like so many people are out drunk on New Year's Eve. It's insane. How could they do this? No, it's still a great time. And let's be honest, the real party is the sirens on New Year's Eve. That's the real goddamn party. Like, I think it was like just about when it hit midnight, and like I saw the feed of the central clock here at the Rådhuspladsen in Copenhagen. I heard a siren immediately. Went to my cousin, had turkey and a drink. I had 4 fairly large beers. I was nearly as intoxicated as pretty much everyone. I literally, on my walk New Year's Eve, I literally came across a guy who had like fallen over and people were trying to help him back on his feet. It was bad. It was raining and there was like wet boxes, fireworks, broken glass everywhere. It was just nasty after a while. It's just like, look, I'm tired. My socks are soaked at this point because there's been raining so much. It's just disgusting. I want to go home in bed, man. It was nice to see some of the fireworks, but I don't think I want to do as big of a walk next year just because it just got nasty real quick, honestly. It was real bad. But yeah. Overall, I had a nice time. I'm happy to be back. A bit sorry I didn't get to do too much streaming during the holiday. Plus, cold is tough. But it is what it is. I mean, I technically still have 3 days of holidays left, so no promises. I still have a loose agreement with a good friend of mine to one point come by and look at the computer, but we'll see whenever that fucking happens. Not right now, at the very least. And I go back to work on Thursday, so had a small Black Russian drink after dinner, so nothing much. Let me show you what I had. I had 4 of these. These are fairly large beers. I had 4 of these. And I was still nowhere near the majority of the intoxicated people out there in the town. To be fair, I had really nice but heavy dinner as well. Lots of bread. And I had it over a good period of time, so yeah. I have it every now and then. Yeah, it's all good. Especially now that Christmas time is over, I'm gonna have to go back to other beers. This is gonna be a real sad period. I could also just not drink, but you know, it's every now and then it's Friday. What you gonna do? It's just before you know it, you have a beer in your hand. What are you gonna do? It's Friday. Just drink it. Oh, but yeah, overall really nice, and it's a great time. I actually did get some lovely stuff here. My phone, annoyingly enough, though, it like over corrects the colors. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, so this was the first picture that I took. Really nice, but really bright, like light up here, right? That's not what we want. This is bad. It is even brighter on the screen, I can tell. And here, way too bright as well. Look at that. That is a nice shot right there. That is really, 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 really nice. I adjusted the color or how much light was going to be allowed in, and it just made the entire thing so much better. I cannot hold my phone like right. So this is awesome. I got some great and some decent photos. Got some fun videos here. Hold on, I think someone's ringing my door. Give me a second. All right, I am sorry about that. No, Soldier was right. It was a neighbor, upstairs neighbor, not one that I ever met before though. I legit thought this was going to be the first time ever that someone anywhere in this apartment is going to come knocking on the door saying, "You're too loud. Shut the fuck up." No, apparently she dropped her phone over the balcony and she couldn't quite see where it had landed. No, they didn't complain at all. They were very thankful because I helped them get their phone back. So they were really, really, really happy. No, yeah, she literally just dropped her phone over from her apartment, so it was all good. We found it. It was a bit silent. It's a pink iPhone. Yeah, it was over the railing from her balcony. It was all good though. There was no no issues at all. Thank God I heard it though. There's just gonna be an iPhone sitting there by the bench. Oh, that would have been bad for her. But no, we got the phone. It was all good. Surprisingly good, considering it had fallen from at the very least upstairs. I didn't quite catch where she lived in the building. Didn't really matter too much, but from wherever it had started from and where it had landed, and considering it was raining, it was really good condition. Really good. Like it I could not really see any issues whatsoever. So that was surprisingly good. So yeah, no, that's the first time. Well, it's not the first time we had someone upstairs drop something. That's sort of the that's sort of the issue of living in the very first floor. Is that occasionally your upstairs neighbors are gonna drop something, and you're gonna have to pick it. No, it was an iPhone then. It was an iPhone. It was her pink iPhone SE or some shit. Actually, maybe not even. It was an older one. It had rounded edges. But it was all good. It was all good. It was alive. You gotta remember, despite the rumors, the iPhones are getting pretty tough at this point. They might be way too expensive for what they should be. Granted, I'll give you that. Nevertheless, they are actually fairly solid at this point and can actually take a fairly good beating. You should still get a cover though, unlike what this woman had. She had a bare iPhone, not even sure she had a screen protector for that thing. God, it's like she wanted it to break. I'm promising you, she could have thrown that thing off the roof if it had a cover like this, perfectly fine. Maybe a bit of a shattered screen. Maybe. Depending on how it landed. If it landed on this side corner. True. I mean, you're not wrong. A lot of what is a bit outdated compared to what you'll get on modern Androids. You want the truth? She's holding a cup to the floor right now. Nah, she wouldn't. She wouldn't. I promise you that much. Like, I grant you, a lot of the things are coming way too late to the iPhone. But at least the iPhone is the first time that I've had like true lock screen customization. Not that it fucking matters, but it was cool for like 5 minutes. Now it's just getting kind of annoying. But that was the first time I ever experienced it. It's got, but the truth is, if you're wondering why I have an iPhone, not an Android, let me first bring your attention to something, if I can find it. I have had an Android for a good long time. This is a Samsung Galaxy 21 Ultra. I've been an Android purist for so many years. So many goddamn years. So I've seen what some might consider to be the holy side of the phone market. So why an iPhone, you may say? Well, the truth lies in something as simple as the OS. That's it. I like the OS better. There's just too much to do. Too much to do on an Android. And the OS looks like shit visually. It looks like garbage. I hate the way, even like the more modern Android. Can I talk about that shit for a minute? This shit fucking sucks. Let me put up my my old Galaxy 21 here, and I'll tell you exactly what the fuck I mean. And this isn't something specifically with Samsung. What I'm about to show you, if I can get this thing booted, is a universal Android thing because it's the Google Play stuff. It's the Google stuff. That's what's getting so goddamn boring. They're like, we'll give you customization over what color the buttons should be. And yet the colors are so bland and boring as shit. Come on. Just to be clear though, that does not mean that I'm all hibbity-doo for everything that's Apple. I don't know if I can get it here. That sort of depends on whether there's an update. No, there isn't. Okay, I can't show you then. Some of the buttons that I've seen design-wise recently, especially the one that pops up under update, looks like ass on iPhone too. The bloatware needs to stop, I agree. I'm not even just talking about bloatware. I'm talking about the fact there's way too customization that I just don't give a shit about. I barely give a shit about the lock screen. That was, again, fun for 5 minutes. Beyond that, I'm not going to use it. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and show you. Nope, shut up. This, first of all, not very interesting to look at. Let me find a wonderful little app that we can talk about. We're going to talk about the bird. This app design, or this design here, is boring as shit. I hate it. They were like, with the newer Android, they're like, wow, it's going to be so different. It's going to be so great. And I was interested for 5 minutes. Got a chance to have a hold on it because I have a Samsung and they get it a little bit earlier at times. Got to try it. It was ass. It's utterly uninteresting and utterly boring to look at. Shit. It's such garbage. And their Samsung stuff isn't really that different. I have not learned Spanish in Duolingo. There's a reason why it wasn't installed. It's because I don't have it installed. You may need to send the bird after me, but not for Spanish, but for French. It's just, if I'm being honest, like, okay, this right here, that's nice. I like having a feed like this. This was a really nice thing. That's awesome. That's really, really awesome. I like the very openness of the grid. Although, I very, very much prefer this grid here. Very much nicer. Another thing that I do like about Android, something as simple as, let me show you here. I'm going to go ahead and move my old Apple Music app. I can place this wherever I want. This looks like ass here, but I can place it there. That's what I want. Stop telling me where my apps have to be located, Apple. I'll tell you where I want them. The end. The openness on Android is awesome. I'll grant you that. Really, really, really nice. I love the fact that I can just go wherever, download whatever. Even if it isn't on the App Store, I can probably get it through an APK that I can download off the internet on some super shit sketchy website. I can do it. Probably shouldn't though. This isn't something that's available on the iPhone. But, thanks to EU, flipping the bird to Apple, that is about to change. So fuck you, Apple. We're getting away. We're getting the good shit that's on Android, on iPhone, and you can't do shit about it. So essentially, we're getting all the really nice, cool features that I think makes Android great on iPhone, which starts to put into question, what is the point of Android if I can just have everything I want on an iPhone and it looks way better? You see? See, I'm invested. I'm invested in iPhone. This isn't just a temporary thing. Remember hacking? Bro, I got you something better. I want to see if I have it downloaded here. I might not, because I've like completely gotten rid of so much shit on here. I think it's called Happy Launcher, if I'm not mistaken. This was the shit I loved back in the day. Yeah. Oh, Lucky Patcher. That's right. You talk about hack shit. Get ready for this, motherfucker. This was some of the best stuff you can get on Android. It was literally an app that let you disable digital purchases, but not in the way you would expect. See, instead of you legit going in to purchase stuff, that would usually require you to put in your actual money. Guess what? Apps like this would allow you to disable the App Store purchase and simply let the app think that you actually purchased it. Of course, because things are connected to servers, a lot of games doesn't work with this. Best pirating software. Goddamn right it was. But it essentially meant that, let's say, I'm going to find a game that was like really good for this, and I can sort of explain what I mean here. I will say part of the reason as well, look at all this garbage apps here. The majority of what's here is complete ass. But I will say that's not really too much in Android, although they do let in way too much shit. Let's see what it has on Apple. I don't think you can do it with Heyday. They were pretty tight about that. Okay, they have their whole 2023 shit going on. Still, why is there so much garbage here? Why do I have to like scroll through things like Tangle Line 3D Not Twisted or Build a Queen? The fuck is this shit? No, I don't want to play this garbage. This isn't like, oh, it's probably just you're looking at random games, right? No, this shit is what I get under the top charts for games on Android. I don't want to play States Builder Trade Empire or Idle Racer Tap Merge and Race. What the fuck is this? No, it's all hot garbage. Yeah. The one game I remember using this a lot on, and you might be surprised, and I think it still works really well. PewDiePie 2 Simulator. Yeah. This right here, this game was the shit to cheat the fuck out of. You can cheat out of this because it's not really connected too well with servers, apparently. You can easily get around it with Lucky Patch, everything purchases. So you can so easily go ahead and get rich really easy in this game. No problem. Just telling you. I'm not saying I've done it. I'm not saying that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said it's real easy. Like legit. That's actually pretty cool. But by the way, if you think that this is something that's completely lost on me now, that it's impossible for me to do so, let me tell you, it ain't. You see, Windows is getting more and more Android friendly. So that essentially means that you can actually download an Android emulator, download PewDiePie 2 Simulator, as well as Lucky Patcher onto it. Not saying I've done it, saying you can, just be clear about that. And then get a save connected to your iPhone, and thereby you have the connected cheat save on an iPhone. It's brilliant. It's genius. And you will not get caught. Don't try to take my advice on that, honestly. No, but still, yeah. Honestly speaking, I like Android still, there's some cool stuff about it. I think there's just way too much going on for me to give a shit about. And it's just, it ain't me. I don't care. Another reason, not that I'm gonna go grab them, honestly, is I've got AirPods these days, and the AirPods themselves are wonderful. Let me be very clear though; they are legit the best small in-ear earbuds I've ever had in my life. They're awesome. I hate the look because I think it sends a terrible garbage message to everyone, like, "Oh, I'm so rich, he's rich." I fucking hate that. If I can make them look like anything else, I would. Let me be absolutely clear about that. I hate the message there surrounding them. Oh, that is really cool, actually. But I need an Android OS, man, because it's not just about Google Play apps. It's about getting all APKs in there, like Lucky Patcher, which isn't on the Google Play Store, because it's basically like a hacking app that goes around their entire system. But yeah, I there's a couple things I still like about Android, but overall, it's just nah. I'm out. I'm out on Android. I get why people still like Android, but with me having AirPods now, I have an Apple Watch. I'm like fully in the Apple ecosystem, spending way too much money than what I should. Still, it's kind of nice. Once you're in the Apple ecosystem, it's a nice thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get it on there. It's just overall, it's a nice, simply easy system, and it's what I like. I don't want to have the option to, like, I mean, I guess I'm gonna do that now, but like, there's so many launchers on here, like what are actually the launchers that are available these days? I mean, remember, like, that's the way to customize your phone. There's Smart Launcher 6, Launcher OS 17, Nova Launcher, Microsoft Launcher, XOS Launcher, HiOS Launcher. All this shit. It's like, I don't give a shit. I don't want to change it. I don't want to change these things. It's not that I love Samsung OS. I just don't want to spend the time customizing all that bullshit. Just get me a phone I can call people. I can go in social media. I can fucking hell. I'll check my email. Get work notifications when I'm at work. Order junk food when I'm too lazy to make food. You know what I mean? That's what I give a shit about. That's what you can do with an iPhone. There's just way too much. This is great if you don't have too much money nor want to spend too much money on a phone. Android phones are great. They're wonderful. You can, of course, also get a cheaper iPhone, and that's also a thing. My recommendation is always that if you don't care about customizations, you just want somewhat of a nice phone, and you don't want to spend too much on, just get a cheap iPhone. Just get a cheap iPhone. It's so much nicer. If you want a really cheap phone, then Android's definitely a way. But if you want to spend a little bit of money, get a nice experience, iPhone's the way. Also, part of the reason as well is every Android that I've ever had, after 2-ish years, sometimes less, they start to slow down. And it's noticeable. Like, things that I would normally be able to play are suddenly becoming unstable. I hate that. I hate that truly. It's not that I can't use the phone after 2 years. It's that it becomes annoying to use after 2 years. And it's just because of that, I don't like it too much. An iPhone, this is my second iPhone. I haven't had that issue whatsoever. And banking on a customized. I mean, yeah, there's no reason to. It's just altogether, it's just nah. But yeah, we got like 30 minutes left. Even if we were to play something, I mean, I have an idea, but I don't know. I feel like we can just talk a last bit of time here and then move on here. Just set my phone to dark mode and use Wallpaper Engine app. Is there actually an Android version of the wallpaper engine? Of course, of course. So we are still going to be doing GTA 4 here on Wednesday, just to be clear. That hasn't changed. I'm probably going to want, if I can find the time and want to, change up some microphone settings. I feel like these settings are a bit fucked right now, so see if I can fiddle around with that a bit more. Oh, that's pretty cool. And I'm thinking that, I mean, playing the Lost in the Dam DLCs as well as the other one, like, it's pretty cool. But I think I'm going to want a bit of a break after GTA 4, so I don't think we'll be going directly from GTA 4 into the episodes of Liberty City, just to be clear. I'm thinking we'll finish off GTA 4, go with something else for a while, and then maybe come back to it later on. I'm not saying I don't want to play those. I'm saying it would be nice to sort of have a break in between them, and come back every now and then. But we'll see how that goes. I mean, I have phone is a phone at this point to me, but I just don't like iPhone. I don't agree with a good few things the company does. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Apple is not necessarily a super great company. Doesn't mean I don't enjoy their phones, but I don't necessarily have to like the company either. So I'm with you there, man. I just like their phone, man. But I mean, I have a couple ideas of what we could play next. We together haven't played Jedi Survivor, but I am currently playing through that myself, so we'll see if that ends up being a series. I was originally planning a bit of Need for Speed Most Wanted here today. We end up talking the most, so it's not the phone, it's about the person. Fair enough. So yeah, I might do that some other time. I have had one small session Need for Speed Most Wanted. It's been pretty fun. So I definitely think I want to potentially do a stream on that at one point. I do want to do another Lego game as well. We finished Lego Harry Potter ages ago, and for fun, I sort of booted up as it's again today again on PS5. It's pretty fun. I'm through. Yeah, I just started the fourth year, and I haven't done any like looking around just yet. So, yeah, a lot of iPhone users are not very technical, but that's not all. Yeah, I mean it's this nice simple phone. The company is in or meta as kids call it. What are you talking about, man? Oh, you're talking about the Lethal Company game. Yeah, I'm not playing that shit. I should game on Mac. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, so we'll see. I'm not quite sure right now what the next series would be. I think I had a couple ideas. I can't remember them right now though, so we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. There's definitely some series we could get into, like but we'll see. We'll see. I haven't gotten around to playing the new God of War DLC either, even though I really wanted to. I just didn't get back around to it. So maybe I'll do that. I do want to do a Jedi Survivor stream at one point. Now that I have it on PS5, I think it could be really fun to do a stream. Like I said, I'm already, I want to say, halfway through the story, having already played the game. So we'll see. Of course, I've done, but I didn't do it on stream because my PC was so ass at the time, and I'm sort of out right now on Cyberpunk. I mean, I still like the game. I've played the game so many times now, and I feel like Phantom Liberty was sort of the final part for me. Even more so the 2.1 update. It's like I will say I was hoping the 2.1 update was gonna pull me back a bit more, but it just honestly, it hasn't really been super interesting. It's fun. I will say, sort of an interesting thing that came around Cyberpunk was the fact that some modders have gotten in FSR AI upscaling to work, to my understanding, together with DLSS, which is for older GPUs, which surprisingly includes 30 series GPUs, which is like mine. So if you have a 30 series or older NVIDIA GPU, then it actually might be worth looking into the FSR mod that you can get out there. It's really, really, really cool. Yeah. Because the game now is really heavy. It is also really CPU dependent, which is why I upgraded my entire system. But even with a 3080, like, it's a bit rough at times playing it. It mostly because of the 10 gigabytes of VRAM that I have. I think it should have had 12 at the minimum. So, yeah. But, still... Yeah. I wish I had 12 gigabyte, man. I have the weirdo 10 gigs. It's weird as fuck. Yeah. But for us who aren't that cool and don't have 12 gigs, then maybe check out the FSR stuff because it's really helpful. I couldn't, some people have been saying they can play with a 3080. I think it has to be with the 12 gigabyte VRAM. Yeah. And play with ray tracing overdrive on and still get 60 FPS with this mod. I checked it out myself, and I'm guessing it's due to my VRAM. But I wasn't able to get the 60 FPS as well. But it is what it is. But it is really, really cool, and I love the fact they've done that because the game is definitely a lot more playable. Yeah, I mean the 40 series cards don't need this upgrade whatsoever. From my understanding, the DLSS on there is seriously powerful enough that it's necessary. But 30 series and below NVIDIA GPUs can definitely utilize this update and get some serious FPS. Yeah, same. I wanna, if I can, I want to upgrade not to a 40 series card, but potentially a 50 series card. And by the sound of it, it might be coming out sometime next year. But then again, I also know that they're going to be adding some new cards fairly soon, or at least planning on showing off some new 40 series cards at CES next year. By the sound of it, some new 3080. They were like, I think the name was like 30 something Ti Super cards. Yeah, I think it was 4080s with some of them. So it would be like a 40 NVIDIA RTX 4080 Ti Super. That's apparently a thing that's going to be happening. Let's see if I can't find something on it. NVIDIA 4080 Ti Super. 3060 Ti. No, I think legit like they're doing this really weird thing. At least from what I heard, it was this really weird, awkward name things. It's starting to look like more like it could be. From what I heard, it suggested it could also just be them trying to somewhat fix the 40 series. I don't trust. I don't trust either company at this point, really. But I trust Nvidia more than I trust AMD with their drivers. So Nvidia it is. But I'm hoping to wait until the 50 series. And then next time, get one with 12 gigabytes of VRAM minimum. That's really important for me. But we'll see. But yeah, yeah. If AMD fixes there, I'll go back to them. Yeah, they have way better drivers, man. Way better drivers. So yeah, I have thought about going AMD, like fully AMD, like AMD CPU and GPU, but my worry is still with the driver stuff. So I've just stuck. I'm still sticking with Intel CPU and NVIDIA for GPU. But AMD is way better for the price. Way, way, way better. But yeah, we'll see what game I end up doing after GTA 4. I'm not sure. CPUs, they're fairly good, but I still prefer Intel. I like Intel. They're my homeboys. They're still idiots, but they're my homeboys. Nice. I will say part of the reason why I like Intel as well as this point is they have a neat little software that runs on your computer that checks if your Intel stuff is up to date. And then it'll tell me real easily. Not even like with like a program that I have to open. It's literally just a software that sits in my side dock. Not even side dock, my little icon dock on the right. Called Intel Driver and Support Assist. It's really nice. I know I enjoy that. That's really nice. But yeah, we'll see what I end up playing after GTA 4. I'm not sure quite yet. To be fair, I think we have at least, I want to say, 2 more GTA 3 streams, maybe even 3. So I'm not too worried. Actually, wait, what the fuck am I talking about? We just got to 50, so probably got 4 or 5. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I might also actually finally do a house flipper soon. I do have to tweak the settings a bit, but I think it's finally getting stable. I think part of it as well was my system. I've been having some issues with my RAM, been a bit unstable. After I started up the system, it was without XMP, and then later I turned on XMP, and the system got real unstable. I then turned it off, and then I turned it on again recently because I was having some issues again without it running. But now the system seems fine, somewhat. I still don't know. I've been wanting to get back into Jedi Survivor on PC. Like but whenever I try to turn it on, my entire system just was like, no, I'm done, I'm out. GTA 6 is gonna be epic when we turn 70 and it comes out. I mean, everything is saying that it's coming out fairly soon in 2025, so I don't know why you guys wait until 70 to play it. I'm gonna play it when I'm 25. Oh wait, 26. I'll be 26. Wait, will I really be 26? No, 25. Yeah, 20. I'll be 25. Looking forward to GTA 6. I'm gonna buy in one day and hold off until reviews come out. I'm definitely gonna buy day one, 100%. If there's a collector's edition and they got some cool stuff, I might buy it. But it would be more out of the idea that I missed out on the GTA 4 and GTA 5 collector's editions, and I really wanted both of them. So it would be more like I finally did it, Mom. I got the collector's edition for a GTA game. I'll be and gonna buy a Series X. Oh yeah, I'd probably buy a Series X if I'm gonna be. You're young, man. You got your whole life ahead of you. I definitely buy a Series X if you're sure you're going with Xbox. Personally, I'm gonna be sticking with my PS5 to play this. I turned 24 this year. Next year I'm turning 25, and by the sound of it, it's probably coming out Q1, Q2, sometime around there in 2025. Probably Q1. True. Like I've mentioned, Xbox is the Android of the console market. And I'm a visual boy, very visual boy. So PS5 is my new favorite system. But I will say the new PS5 Slim looks like ass. Nah. Nah. Like, visually, the PS5 doesn't look super great compared to some of the older PlayStations. But the somehow they managed to make it even worse on with the PS5 Slim. I think the visual of that is hot garbage. The stand even more so. Yeah, I'm not really into zombie games too much. I wish I could be more into zombie games because I would love to play Last of Us. I might just have to buckle down at one point and watch someone else play it, but yeah. Oh, I gotta play Saints Row at one point, the newer one. I know everyone's been saying it's ass, but I got it through Epic Games for free, and I want to try it out if I can before the sale on Steam expires to see if I want to buy it there. I think it's more. I think there's more story. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just don't like zombies. It might just be the fact that they creep me out, and it's just I don't like getting creeped out at all, and that's my issue. I don't know, but I don't like zombies. The end. Zombies, the only thing is one of those things I'll just interact with once a year in October. That's it, and then I'm out again. Although I will, just to be clear though, I have nothing against watching someone play a scary game, including game with zombies, but I have just no personal interest in playing a game myself that has zombie included or anything spooky whatsoever. I know it's technically fungus, but let's be real, it's zombies. I know it's technically fungus, but zombies are fungus too. It's just a fancy pants sort of way of going about it. Tell me I'm wrong, and they're not just zombies again. I dare you. I double dare you. In fact, I triple dare you. They're fucking zombies, dude. Guess what? The tag on Steam says zombies. Not into horror games, but DC is just pulse increasing. That's fair enough. About this game, let's see here. A weary just smuggling for PC, AMD Fidelity. I don't give a shit about that. Tell me what you describe them as, game. The tag says zombies, and they are basically zombies. Come on. I know they're called fungus creatures, but they're zombies. Let's just be honest here. It is what it is. No. Anyway, we are slowly but steadily running out of time. There's a couple other things I wanted to mention. I'm trying to remember what they were. Right. No, I can wait for another time. That's all good. It's all good. I guess I could talk about what I've been doing in The Sims. That's been really fun. So I've wanted to do this for ages, like for fucking ages. Where I wanted to go in. Yeah, they're real creepy looking. But what I've wanted to do for ages in The Sims is to create a character, have him find someone, have a kid, and then play as that kid, have him grow up, find someone for himself, have kids, and then play as the next kid. That takes serious goddamn time and effort to do. Are you kidding me? My God. There's a reason why I've basically never, ever done it, but always wanted to do it. It seems really, really fun. And it has been a ton of fun. I started, I think, doing this, was it Monday or Tuesday? I can't remember. Sometime like that last week. and I've been playing all the way up until yesterday. Like every day I'll wake up and I'll play that, and it's been fucking awesome. It's been absolutely amazing. Like, I started out with one guy, called him Henry Pendleton, I think was the name I ended up giving. Pendleton was auto-generated. I gave him a Henry. I found him a lovely gal, working like you wouldn't believe together. Like, it was perfect. Great dynamic. Ended up getting a girl first. Like, fuck. That wasn't really the plan. I tried to think it through, see if I can make it work. Didn't really end up. So I have him get another kid. It was a boy. It's perfect. Perfect. Call him Maverick. Second kid, Maverick. The first girl, Elizabeth, older sister. It was amazing. It was amazing. And then when Elizabeth and Maverick were teens, they moved out. And then I ran into a bit of an issue. I've just ended up being evil. You gotta remember, guys, I grew up with a mother who were into this shit. I got her type of fun out of this. Gotta play as a family, and you gotta go in for the long haul. But, so I had the sister and the brother move out when they're teens into their separate homes, which, by the way, is annoyingly difficult. They have autonomous actions, which essentially is just them going around deciding when to eat and when to poop and when to watch TV. There isn't really too much, even if you set it to full. There used to be like multiple settings with autonomous behavior. It's only one option now. Oh, evil can be fun, but that wasn't my goal here. So I literally had Maverick, the boy, I had him move out, find his own place, and then I had to go back into the original family and get Elizabeth to also move out into her own place, which was difficult enough because by the time that these guys were teenagers, the rest of the sim world that I had available had been filled up with other sims, so there were almost no houses available for them to live in. It was a nightmare. And then I had the guy move into an apartment, which has a slight issue. You see, I own pretty much every Sim DLC that is because I play way too much of the Sim from time to time. And one of the Sims DLCs I have is to do with vampires. There is this sort of an issue with the vampire DLC. It is not very limited in terms of the worlds where you can find vampires. The minute you get the vampire DLC, they're like, fuck you, vampires everywhere now. Which seems great on paper, but it also has a single vampire sim that'll come up to everyone's house whenever they feel like it, and he'll just knock on your door like, hey, you want to become a vampire, kid? And the first time I experienced this, I didn't know he would just walk in. You quite literally have to go to the front door of your Sim's household and tell him no vampires allowed, because if you don't, he will come into your house and make you a fucking vampire. You don't have a choice in this unless you lock the door for vampires specifically. It's incredibly annoying. But here's the thing. At this apartment I moved the boy into, Maverick, it technically speaking doesn't have a front door because it's a penthouse. So the only way in and out is the elevator. The game doesn't understand that the elevator then becomes the front door. And you cannot lock the elevator for vampires. Which essentially meant when I got the text that this stupid ass vampire was coming over, I started panicking because I couldn't stop it. There was no way of locking him out. I'm gonna suck your blood, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's the classic vampire line right there. But so the first time I went through this whole scenario, I ran into an issue that he managed to come into the penthouse while I was there just because he wanted to. He was like, fuck it, I'm coming in whether you like it or not. And you know what? I'm playing with your laptop because I hadn't locked that either. So I started panicking. It's like, I don't want my guy to become a vampire. That's not what I want. I was seconds away from uninstalling it. And then when I right-clicked with cheats on, I saw that there was an option to kill him. It's like, that's great. I'll just eliminate this vampire from ever existing, and then the game, while in the save, can't come after any household I have from that point on, and I won't have this issue ever again in the save. It's perfect. Turns out, even though I right-clicked the vampire to have him killed, didn't activate on him. It activated on my sim, which meant that all this work that I put in, which at this time was already, I think, like, I want to say 12 hours of work had gone into the save, because I had to start up the male guy, get him someone, get his job to start out. I gave him a whole bunch of things that he had to go through in life. I had worked my ass off already at this point, and I just lost my main goddamn character. Luckily, it wasn't entirely screwed, because one of the mods I have on is like a really useful, like a tuner kind of mod for Sims, like an in-game one. So one of the things I had turned on is autosave. So every now and then the game will just save automatically for me. It is really, really useful thing to have, because your game will inevitably crash, because EA don't give a shit about the fact that we like The Sims. So they don't give a shit about optimizing the game. The game will just crash inevitably. So having an autosave is really goddamn useful. Luckily enough, the autosave I had was before the vampire even came into the house. So I essentially managed to get the brother to move out back into the sister's place. So they lived together for a while. I had him go to university. It was all good. I got him someone that he could be with. It was great. All good from there. He got married. He had kids. There was even a whole thing where the person that he found butter with Nutella nut. What the fuck are you talking about? No. Nutella is something you just put on there. I'll take it. We can do a poll on it, but I'm gonna say no. If I can spell it. There it is. Beautiful. You got your poll. I'm gonna keep talking here. All right. Nugatti, not Nutella. No, that's Nutella, man. Get your weird Nordic Nutella out of here. It's Nutella for the win. But yeah, so that went all good. The girl Maverick found, that was a whole. The minute I found him, that girl, I opened a whole can of worms. So apparently, she was living on her own with this young child. The young child was not her younger sister, nor really any relation other than the last name. So it became this weird, I think technically stepsister thing. It was a whole goddamn situation, and I even had an issue where the father wanted to come and visit all of a sudden, even though I was wondering where the fuck this father was. He didn't live with the daughter. God knows where the goddamn father was. And he got annoyed when I didn't want him to come over. It's like, no, you're not coming over. From everything I can tell, you basically abandoned your daughter. The fuck is wrong with you? And then when I finally had Maverick, the second generation, Pornhub is The Sims now. Basically. Also, just to be clear, the stepsister thing is just, to my understanding, a general term. It's not necessarily to do with porn. But fair enough. It wasn't that kind of a stepsister thing, just to be clear. It was the kind when you're just technically sisters, but not blood related. That kind of stepsister. Nothing sexual or anything like that going on. So that was a whole thing. And then when I had Maverick get a child, the father, not of the child that was living with Maverick, but the father of of his wife, wanted to come over and help. So he came over, and he had step cousins. Yeah, that sounds real naughty, man. Are you into that whole Pornhub thing? What the fuck is going on there? No. But then the father of the wife came over to help, which created a whole goddamn a new goddamn set of problems. Apparently, he had remarried with one of the random Sims that lives around town, and he had had a kid prior, and then had two kids, I think, with her. So already there was a whole crazy family dynamic going on. So now I had my guy have a real extended family. It was a whole bunch of things. And suddenly I had a house, not very big, filled with a child, a toddler, maybe in just like a baby, as well as 3 other children and 4 adults. Oh, nah, it's kind of weird in a way. Some of my stepcousins I've known since the Sweet Home Alabama. But yeah, so there was a whole crazy family dynamic there, and even better was what was happening back in the original first generation household. So we're talking the first guy I got created, Henry. So a couple times while Henry was on, or when Maverick was on his own, his father called several times, sometimes his mother, and they would call and be like, "Hey, we've been thinking about getting some more children. What are your thoughts on getting a little brother or a little sister?" If you get know them when you're older, you don't get any family connection. Yeah, maybe. And let me tell you, that was a whole bad scenario. So essentially, Maverick's parents, beyond having these 2 other Sims, Elizabeth and Maverick, end up having 2 additional sons. I think they tried to have another one, didn't really work out. Doesn't really matter. And then at one point, Maverick was invited over to his father's place. And I thought, great opportunity. I can figure out what are these 2 Sims that was auto-generated entirely by the game, based on the communication that was simply the mother and father asking if they should have more children. And my God, it was a nightmare. So first, when I looked through the first generation house, I couldn't find the kids. To be fair, they were I think they were toddlers at the time, so they were tiny, and it was a massive house. So it's like, all right, fair enough. I look around. The mother is out front, and the father was in the gym, the home gym, which means no one, including the butler that they had, was looking after the children, and both both the toddlers was apparently in the kitchen playing with the dishwasher. This is already a great start. I then have the mother introduce the 2 little brothers of my main character here to be like, "Hey, what the fuck is this?" And then the way she does it is so awkward. She goes back inside, has my main character standing out on the sidewalk and be like, "Here's the first child." And then, because I told her to introduce both of the new children here, my main character had to put the baby down on the ground on the sidewalk, leave it, as his mother came around after like 10 minutes with the second child. So my main character was taking care of one of his little brothers now, who are technically they're his uncles. It was a whole weird thing. It was a whole weird thing. It was very weird, very bizarre. I had one of the kids were sleeping outside on like a little terrace in the rain. Oh my God. It was terrible. But he got to meet him, and oh boy, let me tell you about the wedding. So I had another issue that I needed to fix. Essentially, in one of the Sims packages, not that I know which one it is, they introduced emotional death, which is just great fun, right? Who don't want to witness someone quite literally dying of laughter? That is a thing that can happen now. I literally, it was as ages ago. Without me knowing this was the thing, I had at the wedding, the bride of a groom literally die at the funeral or at the wedding because they were dying of laughter. It's like, Jesus Christ. This is supposed to be a casual life simulation, not the weirdest goddamn shit ever. And you just spend so much time on it, and it's just all down the drain the minute they turn this emotional death on. So, that was a whole goddamn thing. But second generation had a wedding, and then I invited the father of the adopted daughter that was in the family at first. Yeah, somewhat. Yeah. And then the father essentially just started yelling at his daughter. Immediately, it's like, you gotta go, man. What the fuck are you doing? So I had the groom throw out the real father of his adopted daughter. The best part about the entire thing was I invited his two new brothers, the two babies he was talking about. I had him invite those guys to the wedding, and they were toddlers. And instead of the parents being like, hey, let me just grab you and we'll get you inside, no worries, no worries. The parents just left them on the ground, and they had to crawl themselves into the building where the wedding was happening. They were not giving any help whatsoever. They were just like, you figure it out, kids. You do it on your own. They're like, yeah, we'll have some kids. We won't take care of them, but we'll have them. Fuck it. They can take care of themselves, right? It was such a weird experience. And comfortable as well. It's just overall. But I ended up stopping here today. Yesterday, and I think I'm good. I think I'm good for a while. I got to that third generation. I was about to have them have a kid, but I think I'm good, honestly. I will say it is somewhat fun to have it, like create a sim and then have them have a kid with someone else and then see what that child would look like. The result is the face got more and more fucked up. Like, I can see the resemblance in the face, like they've nailed that part, but they somehow look like it was a whole inbred situation because they just look more and more fucked up in the face. None of them looked entirely right. And it wasn't just like, oh, you don't look beautiful. It was a situation like, what the fuck happened to your face? Who beat you up? It was more along those lines. So after the third generation, I think I was also just like, all right, I get it. I've been playing Sims nonstop for about a week to get to the third generation. I had go through 2 full generations basically, and it was an interesting thing to experience. Also because the first sim I created at that time was an elder sim. By the time I ended, it was just all in all this crazy weird experience, as well as having like the houses that were normally are like completely empty get filled up throughout the time and then empty out as you go along as well because some of the Sims die. It's just overall, it is a interesting and kind of fun experience, even though it fucking went batshit crazy. Another issue that I had to deal with was random flirting, which is apparently a thing. I literally had like at one point I had the father of Maverick. He called up the wife of Maverick. So his daughter-in-law be like, hey, you want to go on a date? I've had random people just come up to my Sims who are, again, they're like they're family members somewhat, and yet they were just going up to them flirting, kissing them. I even had like a random sim, wasn't even a family connection, was supposed to be a friend, walk up to my sim and just start making out. So apparently random flirting is another big issue I had to deal with. Still, overall, it was really, 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 really fun trying to do that. Like I said, it's something I've been wanting to do forever. Not just to create a sim, torture people, or trying to have them grow up somewhat and just keep living as the father. I don't really know. It was interesting, really fun, and I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna head off too. I sort of think I talk about what I wanted to talk about anyway. I want to thank so much everyone for coming back. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me, even though I essentially took off from streaming throughout my entire holiday. Like I mentioned, I will definitely be back on Wednesday for GTA 4, so you can look forward to that. We'll see if anything happens tomorrow. I don't know. We'll figure that out as we go. I'll post on Discord if it does happen. So I guess keep your eyes on that. But for now, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Great to be back. And I'll see you guys real soon. Bye.